Hey guys, this is Matt with BleepinJeep.com. Today we're going to try and take this, a stock air box, and turn it into this, a cold air intake, without any aftermarket parts. Before we get started, check out my website, BleepinJeep.com. It's got all the best off-road content on YouTube, none of the boring stuff, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel right up here, BleepinJeep. Okay, to get started with this project, you're going to want to go to your local junkyard and look for something like this. You can find these on a lot of import cars and vehicles, and basically this is just the intake tube. And on your stock Cherokee there's a lot of vacuum lines coming into the stock box here, but we can get away with getting rid of all of those except one. We're going to keep this blow-by tube right here coming in. If you look hard enough, you can find these with all of the vacuum lines like you need. Like this one here I found off of an Accord or something, and it's got one little vacuum line coming in and two of the larger hoses coming in. One of these larger hoses on your Cherokee is going to go to your charcoal canister, and I'm just going to take that whole thing out completely. We're going to keep one line and get rid of the other two vacuum lines that are coming in here. And to do that, I actually found this. This is actually a metal piece, and I found this on a Volvo, an older Volvo. And as you can see here, it's got the little bung welded onto it. And this was actually from this was actually the water. This is the upper radiator hose. But I'm going to use it for the air intake. And all we need to do is get the right angle on here and shorten it up, and then we'll be able to put this air filter on here. Now you can get these air filters for about $25. This is a small one. They also make a larger one. You just want to get it. I think we need to put it up close to the front as far as we can, because I'm going to try and build a box later on around it to make a cold air intake. Without that little box around it, it's not actually a cold air intake. It'll still work just fine. But so yeah, we're going to remove a lot of these vacuum lines. So let's get started. Alright, here we are looking at the air box from the top here, and we've got some lines here that we can get rid of. As you know from one of my other videos, the Cherokee came with a lot of components that it really doesn't even need. This is one of them, and a lot of these vacuum lines it doesn't have to have either. Some of these things they actually got rid of later on down the line, once they came to their senses. So this vacuum line right here goes to the front of the air box, and we're going to take the air box out, so we really don't need that at all. This vacuum line here looks like it's coming over right here, and then it goes into the throttle body. In my case it's already been plugged up a long time ago, so we don't need that one. If you're going to take that one out, I suggest just sticking a screw in the throttle body over here where it came from. It looks like it routes through here, across here, and over to the throttle body. I'm not positive on that because, like I said, it's missing here. This one right here, this line goes to the charcoal canister. And don't quote me on this, but when I was having to get my Cherokees inspected, I could do it without the charcoal canister. In some states you might need it, I'm not sure, so you might want to look into it. But in my case, I'm just going to remove the charcoal canister completely. So that takes care of this vacuum line. Now, the only other vacuum line we have left, actually, it's not a vacuum line, it's actually a blow-by line coming from your valve cover over here. And this one is the one that we need. It recycles the pressure. So this is the one line that we're going to put back into the intake, and we're going to keep. So that's why when you get one of these, you're going to need a line about 1/2 inch or so to feed back into it. Most of these from the junkyard will have it. Like I said, all you have to do is search around in your local junkyard and you'll find something like this. Mostly on import cars I've found have these hard ones, and American cars seem to have these soft ones that aren't going to work as well. Now, while you're at the junkyard, you might want to get an extra one of these for your Cherokee. This one is hard as a rock, and this one looks like it's really old and about to fall apart, but I went ahead and got this just as a spare. Okay, so the first step is just to remove all the hoses, and you're going to take the top of the air box off, take the filter out, and there's just looks like 3 bolts in here, and we're going to remove the whole air box. To remove this box, you'll just need two 13 millimeter. You got two 13 millimeter bolts here, and for some reason this one is a 12 millimeter, and you'll need a couple extensions there. And then I'm just going to take out the whole box very carefully, and I'm going to keep it just in case I'd like to put it back someday. Here's the stock box here. It's kind of neat to look at. As you can see, that vacuum line comes in here to a little vacuum motor which pulls this back and forth. This is where the cold air comes in. On a cold start, I guess it's supposed to open this and let warm air come in from the side here to let your engine warm up faster. And then once it gets to temperature, it opens up and lets cold air come in from the front. Without this, we don't have that advantage, but I guess you get to pick and choose your creature comforts here. Alright, now that I got that box out of the way, I'm just going to take a few minutes to clean up some of the lines here. This one I don't even need. This one that goes to the charcoal canister, I'm just going to cut over here. Pull that out. Later I'll remove that entire line and the charcoal canister. And now we've got lots of space to work here to mount our little filter as close to the front as we can get it here. Okay, so I've spent the past few minutes trying to figure out how to mount this pipe in here. I wish I had a little bit larger pipe, but this is what I could find. Now, if this piece isn't going to work for you, an option that you have is to cut right here and mount this little clamp on here, and I think that's what I'm going to do. Mount it right here, and I can cut this end off if it's a little bit long. I can't cut this end because this is where the bung is here. Now you've got a couple of options here. You can get that filter down by this opening, but the lower down you get it, the more chances are that you're going to have water come up into your filter. And the higher up you get it, the less those chances. So I'm going to try to get it right about there, I think, if I can. And we'll see how it works. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this off and cut it right along that first ring. There we go. Okay, now I'll just take the strap, the clamp from the other end, open it up, wrap it around here, and tighten it back up. And then I'll take my pipe, stick it in here, and test fit it. It looks like that'll probably be good, and I'll just need to cut this end a little bit shorter to fit the filter on there. Okay, I'll measure this end here for the desired distance and then add a couple inches for me to clamp to. Right here I'll probably remove this, just relocate it over here just to give me a little more space there. And after that we should be pretty close to finishing. Okay, here it is. I'm just going to test fit it. And it looks like it's just about perfect. Now, before I tighten this down, we're not done yet. This has to be mounted. You can't just let it hang off of this rubber piece here. And you can't mount it to the frame here or the body. You need to mount it to the engine because the engine moves separate from the frame, and eventually over time this will rip the rubber boot here. Ask me how I know. So what I've found is this little bolt right here is the perfect mounting spot. And I like to use these little throwaway tools that you get with your new saws and things like that. And this will be the perfect spot right there. It's already got a hole in it, so I don't even have to drill a hole in it. I'll just mount it right there. And you could just put a zip tie around there or a metal strap, but I'm going to go ahead and try and weld it on there to hold this up. That way when the engine moves, this entire thing will move separately. You also want to keep it away from the frame here, keep it from touching that, and you want to get it low enough where it won't touch the hood when the hood closes. Okay, I've got the metal bracket on here, and I've got it positioned exactly the way I want it. I'll need a MIG welder to get that tacked down, so for right now I'm just going to use a little clamp to hold it in place because I don't have a MIG welder. Alright, that's pretty good and tight. Now all that's left is to put this hose back on. Alright, now I'm just going to cut this hose to length. Put it on here. There we go. Now I'm just going to tighten up this clamp, and then we'll be all set. Now to actually make this a cold air intake, we're going to have to build a little box around here so only cold air can come in, and it's going to have to seal up against the hood. But that's going to be another video for another day. Alright guys, let's start her up and see how she purrs. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoy your new intake. It seems to run just fine after the new mod. I got this filter for about $25, and I'd say about $5 for the pipe at the junkyard, so you're looking at about $30. Hopefully soon we'll try to make a filter box for this to keep the hot air out. That's going to be a little bit more in depth. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave your comments below. Check out my website, BleepinJeep.com, and don't forget to subscribe right up here to my YouTube channel, BleepinJeep. We'll see you next time.